Everybody would like to have a second home, somewhere maybe warmer or maybe in the mountains. I had that question just today. Man, is it tricky to buy that second home? I said, well, it comes down to your down payment, it comes down to qualifying, and it comes down to just making sure it works for you. He goes, is that it? I'm like, yeah, pretty simple. So if you've been thinking about buying that second home, let's dive a little deeper. So why does it make sense to have a second home? Well, first of all, on the emotional side of life, I definitely believe you deserve it. I think we all have that place that we love to go, that vacation spot or that getaway feeling. It might be the getting away from the snow into a warm climate. It also might be maybe more into going into the mountains in a cabin situation. Maybe both, right? So there is a true, real need and desire, I believe, that we all have to have that place that not only is it to get away, but then it's a place that we create memories. It really is. For us families, when we get together, it's so fun to say that we have these things to remember. Remember when we went to my family, we have a cabin. And that cabin is forevermore that place. I went there as a kid. I'm not taking my kids, and now even grandkids. So is there importance to having a second home? I personally think it's a huge thing to have that cabin. My neighbor has a home in St. George, and the family talks about it over and over again, how much enjoyment they have, the connections they make, because life's not in the way. You have all those things that you're supposed to do when you're at home. Get your homework done, get your job done, and all those things which are very important. But I believe the value of a second home is real. If we can make that work for you financially as well and prepare accordingly, I think we're onto something. So why would a second home not be maybe the best thing for you? You might be the kind of person that says, I don't want to go to the same place every single time. I like to explore new places. I like to go on vacations to countries and stuff. Well, that's fantastic. You might want a timeshare, wherein that you can own pieces that will help you go to different locations. You may not actually own real estate in other areas, but you can certainly use the real estate you have here to finance that type of a dream as well. So the second home purchase doesn't necessarily have to be an actual residence in a certain area, but you can use equity here to purchase that timeshare or other variables so that you can have that flexibility. So another reason maybe to consider not doing a second home right now is time and season. It might be that just financially or even physically with all the things you have to do here, there's just not enough time to get away, right? So time and season. Even though you want to, sometimes it becomes a burden on a person financially, or even, oh my goodness, I haven't been to the cabin or the condo in St. George for so long and I'm paying this monthly bill every month, or I'm paying the homeowner association fees. Right, so time and season. It may not be the right time, but it could be something that we save for in the future, right? A person also might say, well, I want one right now, and I may not be able to actually enjoy it as much as I want, so I'll just rent it out. Happens all the time. People talk about even Airbnbs, and they talk about having the nightly rentals. They talk about all those kind of variations. Those are all real, but just so you know, in the financial world, we just talked about a second home, and if we talk about renting it out, it now becomes an investment property. Now you might say, well, it can be both. We get that. But from a financial point of view, we actually looked at it as investment, because if we have to rely upon a rental income to pay that payment, or if somebody's using it as an investment, there's different lending regulations. There's different things to explore. I think a person should really consider whether it be a nightly rental or not, because it is a whole other job to maintain contracts, to make sure it's cleaned after each person, to make sure these things are done. It is a lot more work to do a nightly rental, possibility of making more money. But that's more of an investment and a return on investment than it is a second home getaway experience. So I gotta make sure we understand those pieces when we talk about that. Honestly, what I recommend is, let's sit down. What is it you want? What are you looking for? Should we look at an investment to make money that eventually could become that second home? You're ready for that. It's time to have that second home. You want that place that you can go to and create memories forever. Or you might be that person that says, I really want to have some money to do that timeshare and explore the world. All three of those, utilizing different pieces of real estate and different ways to finance, can work. I'd recommend we sit down and talk.